I still remember the exact moment I realized my own team had stabbed me in the back. My name is Sophia, and for 3 years I poured my heart into a marketing agency that I truly believed was my second home. I was the quiet force behind most of our biggest wins. Late nights, early mornings, giving up weekends, all because I cared about the work. But more than that, I cared about being part of a team. Or at least, I thought I had one. This particular campaign was the biggest of my career. A major luxury brand wanted a complete rebrand and digital strategy. For 6 straight weeks, I lived and breathed that project. I created the entire concept, wrote the storytelling arc, designed the visual direction, and even stayed until 2 a.m. multiple times to perfect the presentation deck. My teammates? They would pop in during the day, offer a few vague opinions, and leave by 5:30. When we finally finished, I felt proud. Exhausted, but proud. Then came the morning of the client presentation. I walked into the conference room excited, ready to support the team. But when the meeting started, my manager, David, stood up with a confident smile and said, "We've worked extremely hard as a team on this one." He started presenting my ideas, my strategy, my creative vision. Every time he said "we," something inside me cracked a little more. I sat there in silence, watching my colleagues nod along, smiling like they had sacrificed just as much. No one mentioned my name. Not once. I kept telling myself, it's okay. This is how teams work. The credit will come later. But deep down, I felt invisible. Small. Used. After the presentation, the clients looked impressed. One of them even said, "This is exactly what we've been looking for." David beamed, soaking up the praise like he had built it all himself. As we walked out, my coworker leaned over and whispered, "Great job, team, right?" I forced a smile. But inside, I was shattered. Little did I know, the real moment was still coming. And it would change everything. The next 2 weeks were torture. The client loved the campaign so much that they fast-tracked everything. Our agency was suddenly the hero of the month. There were company-wide emails celebrating the team's outstanding work. Bonus talks started floating around. David even got interviewed by a small industry blog, where he spoke about his vision and leading the team to greatness. Every congratulations that came my way felt hollow. People would pat me on the shoulder and say, "Nice work on the project," but I knew they had no idea how much of it was actually mine. I started withdrawing. I stopped staying late. I barely spoke in meetings. The joy I once had for my job was slowly dying. One evening, I finally worked up the courage to speak to David privately. "Hey, I was wondering if we could talk about the campaign credit," I said softly. "I put in a lot of extra hours, and I feel like my contribution isn't really being recognized." David leaned back in his chair, eyebrows raised. "Sophia, we're a team. We all contributed. Don't make this awkward. You're still young in your career. This is how things work. You'll get your chance someday." His words hit me like ice water. That night I cried in my car for 20 minutes before driving home. I felt so stupid for trusting them, for believing that hard work and loyalty would eventually be seen. I started questioning everything: my worth, my talent, even whether I belonged in this industry. But the worst part? I had no proof. It was my word against the entire team. And in corporate culture, the loudest voices usually win. I considered quitting. I updated my resume. I even had a few secret interviews. But something inside me refused to run away. Not yet. Then came the big client feedback meeting, the one where everything finally broke open. The entire senior team was there, including the agency owner. The client's marketing director, Mrs. Elena Ramirez, stood up to give her official review. I sat in the back, expecting more generic praise for the team. But this time, things went very differently. Mrs. Ramirez smiled warmly at the room and said, "Before we move forward, I want to acknowledge something important." The room went quiet. "I've been in this business for 25 years, she continued, "and I've never seen such a clear difference in contribution on a project. The creative heart of this entire campaign came from one person." She looked directly at me. "Sophia, your vision, your storytelling, and your attention to detail made this campaign what it is. The late nights you put in didn't go unnoticed. Our team was genuinely moved by the passion in your work. Thank you. You could have heard a pin drop. I felt my face burning. Tears stung my eyes. David's face went completely pale. My coworkers shifted uncomfortably in their seats, avoiding eye contact with me. Mrs. Ramirez continued, "We specifically chose your agency because of the authenticity we felt in the proposal, and after speaking with a few people behind the scenes, it became clear who actually drove that authenticity." The agency owner looked stunned. He turned to me and said, "Sophia, we had no idea." But I knew he was lying. He had chosen to believe the loudest voices. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. David was quietly moved to a different account. Two of my colleagues who had been most vocal about team effort were overlooked for the promotion they expected. Meanwhile, I was offered the senior creative strategist position with a significant raise. The agency owner personally apologized and made sure my name was attached to the campaign publicly. But the real victory wasn't the title or the money. It was the moment I looked at myself in the mirror and finally felt seen. Not just by the client, but by me. I learned something powerful that day. Your light doesn't dim just because others try to cover it. Sometimes you have to sit in silence while people take what's yours, but the truth always finds its way out. Especially when good people are willing to speak it. To anyone watching who feels invisible right now, keep creating. Keep showing up with excellence. Stay kind, but protect your peace. Your worth is not defined by who claims your work, it's defined by the heart you put into it. The client spoke the truth that day. And because of that, I finally found mine. Thank you for listening to my